You wanted to talk about UFOs again. I know that much.
You think so?
Isn't that
We
what you
could
were
talk.
talking about?
We can talk about UFOs if you want. I can do a little update if you want me to talk a little bit of update.
I saw your update. Like, was it 2 days ago? And that was wrong.
What do you mean it was wrong?
Everything I read said that they came out of that meeting pissed. Nothing was confirmed. They feel like they knew less than they knew
Shocking.
before.
Shocking.
Nobody said that they confirmed everything that guy was saying.
No,
that Grush was
you said
saying.
Adam Schiff on the Intelligence Committee verified that Grush was just so right. He was on point on the Rogan podcast.
Who said that?
You said Adam Schiff confirmed that Grush was good.
I think you just said the Congress.
Yeah, I said no. Congress went into a skiff.
Yeah.
And as soon as they came out of the skiff, they were interviewed.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could watch the interview. I mean, you could watch like
It didn't seem like they were all like, "Oh, he's 100%." I think they're saying that there's stuff there that we don't know about.
There is stuff. Hold on, there is stuff that we don't know.
But
about.
they weren't saying like
they can't say. The only person that came out was the lady. I think what's the AOC or whatever.
Is AOC on the Intelligence Committee?
I don't know what committee she's on.
One lady, the Hispanic lady. Is she Hispanic?
Maybe.
AOC.
I mean, AOC is Hispanic. Yeah.
Anyway, one of the ladies was like, she said like the validation of David Grush was the claims are true. Like, but she was mainly saying that people were getting whacked or threatened with this type of information that they were.
Oh, you mean like there was like retribution, right? Like what's the reprisal is what they call it in the government. Yeah.
Well, they can't have people leaking governmental secrets, you know.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? Because even if like the president, right? Even the president is on a need to know basis about the UFO. So who gives that need to know?
No, he's not. The president gives the need to know to everybody else.
But how is it? Who? I don't know. Because
so here's the thing. When you talk about classification and all that stuff, guess what that comes from? It comes from an executive order.
Yeah.
And guess who is an original classification authority? That is the president. Technically anything that's classified is classified under his authority.
But that's the thing though. They say like the president, like there's a lot of presidents that try to get that information, and
I'm not saying that it's not given to them. I'm just saying like legally they are supposed to know everything.
They are supposed to know. So what happens when they don't know and they try to get the information and they get shut down?
The deep state at work.
That's a different question.
That's a different question. So who is it that's really
who's running the government? Is that what you're trying to get?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Government strikes
exactly.
Again. Not again.
Because no, here's the thing, right? They say like the UFO is top of the top, right? That technology is top. Like there's nuclear weapons, there's other stuff, but that is the most top secret thing you can get. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense why it's like top tier, like it's the most valuable, it's the most rarest thing. You know, whoever gets it can run the world with it. It's a control thing.
Is it the biggest thing that's kind of come out? And there was an article like the other day about the crash retrieval stuff, right?
Yeah.
About the CIA, somebody having a source in the CIA saying, "Oh yeah, like we've been part of this crash retrieval program for like."
Yeah, there's a lot of whistleblowers starting to come out.
It's getting interesting.
It's getting interesting with the whistleblowers, and it's getting easier with the advent of the internet.
Is this the year of disclosure? I feel like every year is the year of disclosure since like 2017.
I think
everybody seems to think like, 2024, here we go.
I honestly think they're disclosing it as we speak. Like it's happening right now. Like people are coming out little by little, disclosing the information, and the government is just, or the Pentagon is just not going to say, they're just giving people the information.
All right, let me ask you this question. if Biden or Trump come out and say, "Hey, if you vote for me, the moment I'm sworn in, I'm declassifying all UFO stuff."
I don't believe anything they say though.
I'm just saying, like, what if,
I
like,
mean,
what if you
Well,
knew
that's
100% that they would do it? Would you vote for somebody just based off that?
well, Trump was the one that started it.
Well, I'm just saying, if they were like, "Hey, I promise you, the moment I get sworn in, declassifying all UFO stuff."
I would say yes, but at the same time, but here's the thing: at the same time, I know like he's like the president doesn't have that authority. Like the
Yes, they
president,
do.
They do.
They can declassify whatever they want.
just like the same how Joe Biden said, "Okay, if you vote for me, I'll get rid of all your college debt, student loan debt."
They tried, and
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
That's what I'm
they've cut
saying.
down
But
way more
that's
than we
different.
had if
That's
there was
money.
another
Okay.
person.
That's money. Money's different.
Okay. But I'm saying is a lot of presidents do make these promises.
Obama
You know what I mean?
said he would declassify Area 51 in his campaign trip.
And they did. They openly admitted that Area 51 was a thing for the first time.
Gotta
ever.
love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Oh, I thought it was always.
It was never officially like acknowledged by the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Like, they
what
tried
they're
to
going
cover
through
it
right
up.
now with the UFO thing. That was the thing, right? Because like our tax money is going to something that doesn't exist, and people want to know where it's going to, and they keep saying it doesn't exist. That's why they don't acknowledge it, because they're saying UFOs don't exist, and now they're coming out saying they exist.
What?
Well, that's why they renamed them UAPs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
UAPs, and that's why, like, have you been looking into like the whole Pentagon audits?
They never pass one. They have a Pentagon has never passed an
They
audit,
never passed an audit.
and
They
people
Yeah, and they
account for
never
billions.
will.
and they never will.
They
Yeah,
never
for
will.
sure. Yeah.
And then they were saying like, oh, we also lost track of like where the weapons we sent to Ukraine are. I was just like, is that really shocking? Is that really the most shocking thing you could have said? Like, you can't account for yourselves.
I mean,
I'm-
yeah, but once it crosses a certain threshold, it's like it's
Yeah.
like when your hands off, your hands off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what are you gonna do, dude?
Yeah, like, dude, this is the world.
Like,
we
you can't
live
throw a
in.
GPS tracker into every single piece of ammunition that
I mean, that's
that
true.
crosses the country, like the
Mm,
boundary lines.
I hear you. It's tough. As like a la Iron Man, for example, like Stark didn't know his weapons were going to those Afghanis.
You know, things happen.
Things happen.
You know, he got blown up by a Stark Industry missile. That's might happen. Might happen.
But I mean, like the disclosures that people are starting to come out, like it's pretty wild, like interesting.
You seem
Yeah, I
pretty
think people
excited.
are just more ballsy now. They just
Yeah.
feel like they have the backing of the public. They don't seem crazy.
Yeah.
You
They
know what I
don't seem
mean?
crazy, and people are getting more and more disillusioned with like the status quo government we've been kind of having.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean by that? Like
Well,
people are seeing through it?
Well, like, can you really say you're satisfied with the business as usual we've been having for decades?
No, but I've always been saying that. I've always been like,
I'm saying like that feeling you're feeling is spreading more and more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's no longer, especially like even amongst like the baby boomers, where it was like you just trust the government. Like it's
oh,
just
yeah,
it's just not like
it,
it's not de facto anymore. It's like, all right, now you got to prove to me why I should believe you,
Yeah.
yeah,
and not this guy who's saying you're lying to me. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like guilty until proven innocent,
yeah,
instead of innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. Because it's more and more like people are coming that the government isn't the whole like for the people by the people. It's not really true.
it's
Yeah.
not true. Yeah,
And they're
And
not
you-
like forthcoming.
yeah. You guys ever know what the term apocalypse means?
Apocalypse, the end of the world.
No, but the meaning, like the definition of it.
Is this supposed to be like the tear down of falsehoods or something?
Yeah, it's like the like ravel of the like like the thing is supposed to come over your eyes. Like people are supposed to
Like
be able
lifting
to,
the veil.
yeah, lifting the veil.
Piercing the
That's what
veil.
it is. Like people are like, oh, they've been lying to us this whole time.
You said that's what the word apocalypse means?
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up.
please do.
That
No,
seems
seriously, that's really what it
All I
means.
know is
Yeah.
I'm a very good Catholic boy, so I'd be raptured out before any apocalypse happens. So it's
Oh no, I'm
uh
grabbing on your
what are you
ankle.
what are you talking about? There's no the well, first off, you're a good Catholic boy. You don't believe in the rapture anyway, so you already done. Like
no, it's fine. It's
there's no
because
rapture in Catholicism.
wait, what are you talking about? Yes, there's not.
No,
What are you
no.
talking? I made the wrong choice again.
Dude, dude, get your religion
God
right,
damn it,
bro.
dude! No. Which one says rapture is fine? Is that Methodist?
It's definitely like it's more like a Puritan thing, isn't it?
Puritan? I don't know. I don't want to be a Puritan. I want to drink. I already fucked
Uh,
up.
is I mean, it is definitely not Catholicism, bro.
Look. The Pope is really cool lately. Pope Francis. He's been a really cool Pope lately. He'll figure something out.
Yeah, you know,
He got my
the
back.
wave of his hand. He's like, he's like the Harry Potter. So,
Yeah, he's just like raptured, and I'd be like, "Thanks, Pope. You're my guy, dude." And then I'd be like looking down at you guys, and I'd be like, I want to save you, but JC's got this party going, and I just can't miss it.
all right, apocalypse means uncover.
Uncover. Okay,
Yeah, or
something like
reveal.
or
Yeah,
reveal.
close
Yeah.
enough. I say, close enough.
But I mean, like, think about like all the things like the government has like lied to us about, like, even and would cheat just to keep us like in control. Like it's unreal. I feel like I think it's just it's insane. Like it keeps people insane. Like we have, for instance, we have like doctors with that go to school for like 10, 20 years just to be a doctor, and we're more sick than ever, right? We had like what else? Like we have all this food or whatnot, and people are more obese than ever. We have all these nutritionists that have the best knowledge, and more people are just more obese than ever.
I'm not gonna say okay. So there is a little bit of a history in our foods, especially like if you look at the chicken that we eat now, like what the chicken looks like right now, and then what it looked like 100 years ago, they were different. They were thinner, smaller, and all of that. But ever since like the World War started, we've been rationing more, and we've been giving grants to different companies to make food much more abundant. And it's been like ever since then, it's been a downhill because of like World War II or something like that, because we had to feed a nation.
Have you ever heard of the conspiracy of the sugar industry?
I was about to say that's not a conspiracy. That was
That
real.
Yeah, that is real. It's not a conspiracy. It's
Yeah,
real. What people would tell you, it's a
the sugar
conspiracy.
consortium like came together and paid doctors off to say sugar wasn't bad for you
What?
in like the 50s. Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
whole thing.
That's wild because sugar
And
was
that's where like the food pyramid and stuff came from and like
That's
all
where
that
the
stuff.
food pyramid came from, dude.
Yeah.
So you have all these people getting fed the wrong information so you can get sick. So then you go to the doctor and they just pay you, they just give you medicine. They don't fix you. They just give you pills.
Isn't that
All
the
the
whole thing? Treat, not cure. Isn't
Yeah,
that what
treat,
everybody
not
says?
cure.
you
Exactly.
can't you don't get a recurring payment on curing.
So
Yeah.
if you
It's like a
have
streaming
and
service.
if people are like stuck in this illusion, right?
Mhm.
It's like you're leading people down a path of misery. Like so many people have like mental health problems, all stemming from just from being grown up in a system, in a society where it's just giving you lies, 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 lies. You know what I mean? And it's terrible. And I think that's why a lot of people are starting to wake up and be like, hey, I'm having a realization this lifestyle is just not working for me. And then now people are stop believing in the government because like they're just continuously lying all the time. And it's
Also,
like
you also got to caveat this a little bit because like it's really the Western world.
the Western, okay, yeah, the Western world is like that. Even like, but I mean, like that's the Western world is one empire. Nobody knows who's running it, dude. No, I mean, like you have different countries. You have like the
I mean,
United
it's
States.
us. It's us,
We do
man.
run the Western world. I was
Like
gonna say that too. It's clearly us.
it's it's pretty
See,
obvious.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, dude, and they are just feeding lies and lies. It's just insane.
I mean,
It's
how else do you
insane.
run the world, dude? You're not gonna run it through truth.
I know that, but it keeps people. What I'm saying is, it's like this is supposed to be a free world, but mentally, it has people enslaved. Like mentally, most people are unhealthy.
I mean,
You know
who
what I
built the
mean?
free world?
Say that
Slaves.
again.
Who built the free world? Slaves.
Yeah, but
I mean, freedom wasn't always like a thing. That was not never a that's a very unique American thing.
Yeah.
Like like a liberal democracy.
true.
That's like only a couple hundred years old. Like every
I heard
other
Yeah.
and I read something that freedom really started happening once the Catholic Church took over. You know what I mean? Like because they
mm,
believed in a way like everybody was.
we have free will. Free will is
Yeah.
like a newer concept. I can kind of see that, but like also at the end of the day, like that was just a different dictatorship. That was a
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, still. I mean, yeah,
Dictatorship
you're
via the
right.
Pope, and they exercise their power.
It yeah,
Mm,
I will say, no, you're right though, because it is one of the few, probably the first times where it was like your deeds dictated what happens to you really in the afterlife, but not so much in the regular world. But it was like, hey, you as an individual
Yeah.
can get yourself to heaven,
I
therefore your choices matter.
Yeah.
I could say that it's not a newer concept. Egypt had the same thing with Anubis and his scales. Like a feather would weigh your heart, you know,
Yeah.
and the more
Mm,
bad deeds you did, the more the feather would be
heavier, yeah.
the feather would be lighter. Your heart would be too heavy. But it's definitely it did spread to like all four corners through Christianity, the concept itself.
But we are slaves in this American world just by how we were born, just by being born into here.
Would you
You know,
rather be born here or in China?
oh, 100. No, hold on. We're blessed. Let me tell you,
That was a damn, that was a 180.
tell me the
Fireworks.
president said we are blessed to be here.
He is
You don't want to be nowhere else, honestly.
as soon as you say, "Would you rather be somewhere else?" That's where his patriotism comes from. It's like when we were playing Halo 2 on Xbox Live, and we were arguing with some dude from Britain, and Scott's trying to sing the national anthem.
Because I mean, like it's that word freedom, right? Like even though, like I would say, most people are mentally enslaved, right? You're either like, they're just stuck in their mind, like. But that word freedom, people have their own ideology on what freedom is, and we just have more of that here. So we can make more things happen here.
Do you
Be-
do you do you think that's true, or is that just what we're told? We're the
No, I
land
think
of
that, I mean,
opportunity.
no, the world is changing. I mean, especially America changes all the time because people like that word freedom. Like we should have the freedom to choose. And I mean,
Do you feel
people.
free though? Do you know how you haven't visited another country? You don't know how free they are. We're being fed through a lens, you know.
Oh, I know that. I know for sure. I know we are. I mean, honestly, I think we're all in World War III right now. Honestly, I feel like that, but we're so entertained and busy with our jobs. They don't.
We are, dude. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm busy with my job. You know, I'm listening to my Kelsey podcast. You know, I'm happy, dude. I'm ignorant and happy.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. You know, popping off my ESPN, seeing what the latest news about T Swift is, because you can find that on ESPN now.
Yeah. But then you're also, you can talk shit about the government, post it online, and nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah,
It's true. No one is gonna say anything.
but they're listening.
Unless it's about COVID.
Oh, I mean, I think I've been on the COVID, the election,
Yeah.
vaccines. Can't talk about
Depends
that.
on what YouTube doesn't want you to say. But that's different. That's not the government.
COVID's real though.
There's a lot of people that think they're not. There's a lot of like the whole like anti-vaxxers to like,
Oh yeah.
you know, the the crunchy mom pipeline that says like, in order to cure sickness, put like potatoes in your socks and it will suck away.
I mean, like, here's the thing though. It's like I don't know about the COVID vaccine at all. I don't like nobody
I
knows
mean, you
what it
got
would
the
do to
Johnson
you.
and Johnson, the one that got recalled.
Oh,
I did.
And look, you're
I
still
did.
alive.
I am still alive because
for now.
yeah, for now. Yeah. But I didn't get no boosters. There's people that would get like 10 shots
I
for
yeah,
COVID.
yeah, I
That's
did.
crazy to
Dude, I
me.
did my 2, and I did my 2 with Pfizer, and that was all I was giving them.
But that's the same,
That's
like,
same. That's all I did.
that's the same with like if you go into the military, don't they like give you like a lot of shots like as soon as you
Yeah.
get there?
Well, the
Yeah,
government
exactly.
well, at that point, you pretty much as soon as you sign that line, on the contract, you sold yourself to the government. They can do whatever they want.
You get all kinds of
Hold
shots.
on, do you sell yourself to the government or a big corporation?
No. You sold yourself to Facebook long before you sell yourself to the government.
Do you hold on? You don't read those agreement terms on Facebook?
Yeah, there's end user agreements.
I read them all the
I
time. You
accept
don't.
those terms.
Yeah, click, 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 click.
Scroll to that button next to it.
Yeah,
It's just
scroll,
like
scroll to the bottom.
Oh my god. But man, I'm just saying, yeah, just with that, especially with the sugar industry, like a lot of people think some of these
That's just
conspiracies are,
wild.
yeah, a lot of people
That
think
one's
these are
wild.
conspiracies, but I just feel like we're ahead of the game.
I think, dude, I think in the 50s and 40s and 50s when the government had like full control, right? So just think about it, you're coming out of World War II.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
your full faith is in the government for keeping you safe. You win the war and they start backing these, in technology, you're in a technological boom. Like
You're in
people
a
just were
golden
just like
age.
whatever was being done was just being done. And they were
Yeah.
just taking it hook, line, and sinker.
I
I
mean,
know.
to be fair to those of the greatest generation, they came back to a world that was so much better than we had it now. You know, they had their just their little 9 to 5 in a sheet metal factory, and they could have a stay at home wife and a nice like mini McMansion and be fine. Why not trust the government at that point if your
No, that's
needs
what
are
I'm
met?
saying. Is like,
Yeah,
yeah. Like it was just the times. But and then, these corporations and the government kind of took advantage of it and kind of put us in a worse spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
Really the corporations. And
yeah.
the
It was,
government
yeah.
the government was more of a bystander, just kind of like letting it happen,
Yeah.
you know.
But I mean, like,
With the
can
whole
the government really
laissez-faire
can't
thing,
regulate corporations?
they can.
I mean, they
Yeah,
can't. It
they
just
can.
takes a long time.
Yeah.
It's just they got to do something. They almost got to do something so egregious where like there has to be a law, right?
Yeah.
Like you saw that in like the meat industry and
Yeah.
like places like that. But like, it's got to be bad and it's got to be like made public. And they're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Noticeable.
We got you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
fix
Yeah,
that.
because the government has the power to regulate industry. The problem is the industry buys the government, so
That's
they
ex-
don't regulate it. Yeah.
Lobbying, bro.
yeah. It's
And then you got these weird, like the FDA, right? It's semi-public, semi-private.
Right.
really.
Yeah. The FDA is mainly financed. They get most of their budget from big pharma and places like that. And that's why they said, I think every head of the FDA, outside of 2 of them, the moment they leave the FDA, they go work on a board for like one of the big pharma companies.
Shocking. You gotta really
Yeah.
wonder that government
But
enemy to boardroom pipeline.
but yeah, they most of their budget is not from the government. It comes from like private
Yeah.
companies. And there's a couple other ones like that too, like these weird like hybrid. They're like government institutions, but they get money from the private sector. I mean, the Fed Reserve is kind of like that, right?
Yeah. The
You
Fed
know,
Reserve.
it's
Yeah.
you know, I think the EPA too gets like a lot of money from the private sector because I mean they just don't fund it, so they got to pull their money from other places. So
Mm, that's crazy.
yeah, it's wild. It's kind of weird.
It's a wild
Yeah.
world out there, but like we're a capitalist society at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have somebody writing your regulations, you don't want the people you're regulating to be paying you. Somebody call that a conflict of interest.
Some would call it a conflict of interest. We call it enterprise.
We call it enterprising capitalism.
Exactly, dude. I hate it. I hate it. I feel like things could be better.
I mean, things can be better, and I think people they just go along, right? They just go along. They just stay in line, stay in
I mean,
line.
status quo is usually, easy enough. There's a reason it's the status quo.
I know.
Very true. Very
So
true.
how do we
First thing
break the
first thing
status quo?
by once we realize that aliens are real
Thank you.
and that and that you're a citizen of Earth, you're not a citizen of your country.
Yeah.
You might see a little bit more harmony.
That's why I say like the best course of action is to become a sovereign citizen.
Oh
That's
my god, those motherfuckers.
no, they're
Those guys are hilarious. I don't need a license.
I am traveling as a free citizen.
Yeah,
Therefore, I don't need a license.
I hate weird people like that.
What are you talking
yeah,
about? They're not weird. They're just smarter than us. You just don't get it.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. God,
hippies.
you're such a loser, dude.
Look, all I know is it's just like, dude, every time I watch them come on, I sometimes I watch court TV and they're my favorite ones that come out. Every time there's a sovereign citizen, that's when I'm just like, okay, I'm into it. I'm jacked in because it's going to be
Yeah,
wild, dude.
those people are wild, dude.
I am representing this man. Is this not your name? That is an entity of the state. I am an
Oh
acting
my
act.
god. But I mean, like, that is real though. It's like, who are you? Are you just your name? Is that your label? Right?
I feel like it's a
Or
little easier than that.
I feel like those are the same people that are, they're flat earthers, they're sovereign citizens. Like it's all the same stuff. Those are
It's
all the
all,
same people.
it is all the same
QAnon,
stuff.
they're all QAnon following, you know, flat Earth sovereign
is is
citizen.
that like is that like a mental health thing?
I don't know.
It's
They would
more,
argue that they're the healthiest
yeah, they
and
would.
they
Mm.
have the best mental health.
The Lulus, huh? Very
Hey
Look,
man.
these are
Delulus.
the people that nothing their life is complacent, nothing happens, they're not special, they want to feel special. So, they fell into this government secret rat hole and now they're just like, I know something you don't know. Haha, I'm so
Yeah.
special. I'm playing spy. I'm basically internet James Bond over here with Brenda in her 40s over in Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's loneliness at this peak.
It
Oh
is
yeah, man.
loneliness. And these people are stupid with their wigga wagga and shit like that.
Hey man, you get a little taste of power, you got a couple followers, your 9 to 5 being a Walmart greeter is just how you pay the bills, baby.
Exactly, dude. And when you get in, oh my God, the boomer grift is unbelievably lucrative. Let's be real,
What is the boomer grift?
the boomer grift is when you fall into these boomer traps, just be like just a unabashed right winger or QAnoner, and just like because a lot of people who fall for these are like retirees. You're basically internet
Mhm.
QVC. You're just selling shit that they will buy because they have money. They're throwing their social security into buying your I'm with Q shirt.
Oh,
Oh my god, dude.
is that like the casinos where they just go after old people and take all their social security?
Yeah, 100%.
100%, dude. These people often have I mean, look, we can create our QAnon grifter persona right now. Make sure you have like a question mark on your
Can you
like
call me king? Question.
you can be like no, you can be like your name could be like king on the chessboard, they're gonna think that's deep. 'Cause
King on the chest.
they're gonna think you know something because you're talking chess. This guy must be really smart. Make sure you also say that you used to be in the military. Don't be afraid to steal valor. You
You know
cannot.
what I
They were
mean?
if you're in the
Yeah.
military,
You
they
you gotta
cannot question
steal
you.
as much valor as you can. You
I'm a
were a
retired 5-star general.
5-star general, sniper special forces,
You know what I
Cav
mean? I'm
Scout
the one
Ranger.
that trained David Goggins. I'm the guy, and I'm
Yeah.
over here.
I'm the one who made him believe.
They're gonna be like, who is king on
Because
the
as
chessboard?
soon as you
Who is
say
this
like
guy?
you have a rank, they will not question you because if you served, you're infallible. It's just how it works.
Yeah. It
But
doesn't matter if it was for 3 years in the Army Reserve and then you got
on the Coast
kicked out
Guard.
because you failed a PT test or
Yeah,
something,
you got dishonorably discharged. It's because you knew too much, to be honest. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You knew
You know
too
how hard it is to get a not honorable discharge? You really got to fuck up.
much. You really do.
Like,
I knew one guy who was dishonorably discharged, and that's because he punched a superior like an idiot.
well, that means to get a dishonorable discharge, you got to get court-martialed.
Yeah,
Most of the time, no. So no, he probably got an other than honorable discharge.
How you get
There's
court-martialed?
I don't know. I feel
you
like
got to like kill somebody
I'll be
Oh my
honest.
god.
I don't know the full story. All I
or
know
do
is
something super egregious.
all I know is just this. He said he was dishonorably discharged. I feel like you would rather tell people you're otherly discharged than dishonorably.
Now he probably too dumb to even realize there's a difference.
He was pretty fucking dumb. But
Like,
either way-
there's 3 types. Like, unless you go through a court martial, you can't be dishonorably discharged.
okay.
It's usually like honorable, other than honorable, and then dishonorable. And usually, if you're dishonorably discharged, you're going to jail, bro. Like typically, especially if you're like enlisted or something like that. I mean, if you're
Nice.
like a 4-star general, yeah, you're probably just losing a little bit of rank, and you know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the dog and pony
Absolutely.
show.
Scott, you got to be listening. We're building your online persona here.
Why's it gotta be mine? Hold on, king on the chessboard.
King on the chessboard, dude. Make sure your background, your profile picture is like the king chess piece on a board. Make sure it's dark and have like a flame around the chess piece.
You know what
They
I
really
mean?
respect
Just
flames. It means
And
serious
the
business.
chessboard is a flat Earth.
It is
yeah,
a flat earth. And like the reason
yeah.
you were discharged is because you took a bullet for someone important. You can pick anybody. They're not going to acknowledge you.
I need
But
to
they had to erase you from the military.
Exactly.
They had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
erased me. I knew too much.
You
I
knew
flew
too
a
much.
UFO.
They gave you
Yep.
they gave you Q clearance, and you're just, you know, you knew too much. You got burned. You know, it happens,
Yes.
right? Because you were taught, because
Mhm.
you were working closely with Trump, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And I was working closely with aliens in Alaska.
yeah. See, you're
You know?
something called a
Mm.
white hat. You know,
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
you're a hacker, but on the side of good.
You know,
Mm.
I am V for Vendetta good.
And like, yeah, and you can talk about, your Iraqi, you can talk about, your Iraqi freedom tour and all that, and say like, hey,
Mm.
you discovered these things, like the giants in Afghanistan, like you saw that shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Down in Kandahar. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, Kandahar.
It's dude. You know, I mean, like this is real stuff. I just want people to know what's out there. I'm tired of people living in this bubble, and I'm here
Yep.
to burst that bubble.
Make
And you
sure,
know what though? And then once in a while, go dark for a couple weeks and be like, "Hey, just got back from Syria. I can't talk about it."
can't
You
talk
know,
about it. I just got back from those tunnels under the synagogue in New
Mm.
York. The shit we discovered.
that led to the inner earth where I met the giants.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're
They gave
digging.
me all their knowledge
Yep.
and wisdom.
And you had to go stop the Houthis from taking over.
Houthis.
So
And make sure you end
You
it
know?
with, they told me Trump was the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Went to
Yeah.
Argentina. I went to Argentina and I found out that Donald
Hitler?
Trump was Adolf Hitler's nephew.
God damn. That's a new level.
I don't think that makes them look good, to be
You
honest.
might lose a couple fans, but you know what? You might gain some gain some different.
You might gain those ones with the frog profile picture.
Yeah, Pepe the Frog gonna be making a comeback.
Yeah.
I would make up some family and say like they run the whole entire Western society
Hmm.
underground. They're
The
in the
Rothschild
shadows.
barons.
The Roth. No, you have to add it with like Stein or Gold. Like, there's no other
Oh.
way. They'll believe it if you add it with
Roth and Goldenstein.
Roth and Goldenstein, Soros, like Soros Stein or something like that. They'll fall for that.
Ooh.
Sorosberg.
Sorosberg. And then they'll just like, reply back going like, I knew it.
I knew
I knew
it.
it.
Son of a
You know?
bitch.
A Q drop 242 kind of like alluded to this. I knew it.
You
Mm.
know, and
And that's what you got to get into. You got to start interpreting Q drops.
Actually,
That's
don't,
where the
'cause-
money is.
what are Q drops?
Oh, dude.
Dude, it's step number one in you have to analyze these. Okay, there are just, what 4chan is, right?
Yeah, because of Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, so 4chan, there's another one called 8chan, which is basically just a clone. But like, there was a mysterious guy named Q, right?
Shout out, yeah.
Shout out to Q.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would make random posts of sounded that sounded like Intel. And it would
How
be
do
called
people? I
Q.
can't. How do people take this serious?
It's a mystery. It
Well,
really
so
is.
here's the thing. It started getting picked up by people who didn't grow up in those communities and don't realize what a troll is. And then once they got some traction, they're like, this is fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
really thought they were on, like, they thought this was like some dark web shit that they were on, not knowing
But
that
really,
it's
it was like some
which is
12-year-old girl.
did you watch Q Into the Storm?
No, I've already lived through Q. I don't need to watch it.
Dude, watch the video or the documentary on HBO. It's wild, dude.
Q Into the Storm. All right, I'll
Q
watch
Into
it.
this. I
And it
told you
was-
about this before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And it culminates on January 6th.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like the way everything, like the on the like in the documentary, he's like, we were in post production, and then January 6th, they started hearing about this before it happened, and they went.
Jeez.
And dude, it's wild, and it runs you all the way, and they interview people who are like fucking hardcore Q heads, and then at the end, they're like, Q abandoned us.
You abandon us.
Dude, it's wild.
I
Like,
mean,
people have like
he hasn't
YouTube
posted
channels. They're
since
making
Jan
like
6.
they're like they have no lives, and they get these like followings on YouTube, like interpreting Q drops.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Oh,
people that oh shit. There's a lot of people who interpret that shit, and it's so
it's
funny. Oh my god, dude.
it's wild, dude.
I was I
It's
was I was
wild.
I was I was like I was monitoring them their I was monitoring their accounts all throughout like January up until January 6th too, because I knew because they had their little like Ben Garrison cartoons going like that's the date we take back America. And a lot of them,
Mhm.
like the famous ones like Joe M saying like if Trump is loses to Biden, that means Q is fake. But of course he kept posting through it going like the election was stolen, shit like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't
It was
ever
really
acknowledge
easy.
it. Them all making like these. Have you heard of like the 10 Days of Darkness? I don't know if that documentary touched on it.
That sounds familiar. I don't
Is
think I've
that with the
seen anything like that.
vampires?
No, you're thinking of 30 Days Darkness. 10 Days of Darkness is when you'll randomly, and they came up with all kinds of dates since January 6th, like when this is going to happen. But you're going to get an EMS message from Trump saying like the storm has arrived.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
then
right.
you'll have the 10 days of darkness where power, internet, cable is all turned off. You're only going to get one TV channel, and it's all executions of everyone they never liked, like Tom Hanks and Nancy Pelosi. And then again, just people they don't like. And and they're always telling you like, get your rations because you won't be going to the store. And apparently the revelations are going to be so groundbreaking that the average citizen is going to lose their mind because it's so crazy.
And it's what they knew the whole time,
Yeah,
bro.
but
What they knew all along.
they knew. Basically, their whole world is, yo, I fell into this rabbit hole of conspiracy. I'm so far in that all my friends and family don't like me anymore, but I'll show them one day that I was right. I'll show them
What
one
is
day.
it? What is it with people that like that can what is it in us that we can like differentiate between like fake news and real news? Like we have that sense. Like some people just
Common
don't have
sense.
that. Is that what it is?
Common
It's
sense.
common sense.
It's common sense. Like if something
I think it's just
feels
people looking for
weird,
meaning,
it
dude.
usually is.
I think they're willing to like suspend their bullshit meter just to find something where they can belong. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I feel
the
like
loneliness
yeah.
gets to them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
want to be a
people
part of something.
a lot of these people are older, like boomers, 40s, 50s, 60s, 40, 50, 60s, late 40s. And, they're just living that mediocre life. But like, this is their chance to feel like they're important, you know? They can feel like James Bond. And so they build these communities of like, 50-year-old Brenda from Alabama, and they feel very important.
But I
and
mean,
good.
you got to get to the point where you're like, dude, nah, like,
Some people have, but a lot of people haven't,
yeah. It's just like, what is that thing? When people are like, it's gonna hit, it's gonna come up, I'm gonna be rich. It's like the delusional meter. It's like, bro, like where is it with people where it's like, okay,
There's a point where you're
they're
in
just
too
so
deep and you've
unrealistic.
lost so much, you just can't lose. You can't like
Yeah.
leave it, You've lost.
It's like a sunk cost fallacy, dude.
Exactly.
Like you're in too deep.
You're in too deep. Everyone makes fun of you. Your family doesn't talk to you anymore. So one day
Yeah.
you're just hoping for that chance. That's why at the end of the 10 Days of Darkness, the payoff after the 10 Days of Darkness is that the QAnon followers will rise up and teach the world how to really live, and then harmony will happen. See, they put themselves in like the special place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
The problem with that is they're gonna be like, oh, just post it on YouTube, and they're like, the internet's down. How do we get that back up? They're like, I don't know, dude.
I know.
Check YouTube.
Check.
That's what it's gonna be, dude.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's a fucking interesting cult. Let's say that
Yeah.
much. It's
And
an
it's a
interesting
cult. It's a fucking cult.
Very much a cult.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they were able to make that documentary because those people are usually cautious about talking to people about that shit.
You know what though? I
People get
feel
ballsy.
I guess
There's a
so.
lot
I
of-
mean, like I was blocked by almost all those people they interviewed on
A
Twitter
lot-
because I kept talking shit about them.
a lot of people, they fall into cults, man. I don't know how they do it, and then they have, like, this big realization, like, "Oh,
Well, it goes
this is a
back to,
cult."
like, what we were talking about with the whole government thing. People are just disillusioned, you
Yeah.
know? It's
Yep.
it's easy to fall in a cult when you feel like the world is not the way it should be,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, instead of accepting it for the way it is, like, everybody has their own ideology, how it should be.
Mhm.
And now people are starting to wake up to the government. Nobody trusts the government anymore.
But that's how it starts too.
I
It's a
know.
two-way street.
It
This
is.
is, dude. This is the problem. The purge is gonna become a real thing, and everybody's gonna be so into it. They're gonna be like, yeah, whatever the government says, because that one day a year,
Dude,
whatever they say,
yeah.
bro.
I mean, let's
Oh
not
my
act like if the purge
god.
was a
This is
real
how we
thing,
get to
there
the
isn't
purge.
there's not someone we're looking at, you know?
So
Yeah.
what
What?
I mean, like, what do you do when you get to the purge though? I mean, like, do we all have to like, hey, you go back to the tribe thing, right? Pretty much like, hey, we gotta stick together because once the purge comes around, we gotta fend off these people for a day,
Man,
for a
I get
night.
it. I get it. I mean, I can tell you how I would be in the purge, which is I would be like, oh, wow, the purge is here. Get rid of my enemies. The next day, I'd be like, man, this purge is terrible. We need to end this. This is.
Yeah, exactly. I
Ah.
feel like there's gonna be one purge, and that's about it. And everybody's gonna be like, that shit was wild.
Here's the thing with the purge though, is that if you like what if like you get these highly trained Navy SEALs, bro, that just say, you know what? Let's just let's just run it up. You are screwed. Like you're screwed. It's over. Like
You better make sure you got some land in Montana somewhere
Yeah,
or in
just
a
in a
mountain.
mountain, dude. In a
like,
in
have
a
just a
bunker.
really nice cave somewhere, that no one will ever think of.
Yeah, you got to be like Mark Zucker. And what's with these? Hold on, what's with these billionaires making all these like bomb shelters all of a
Because
sudden?
because climate change.
Yeah. Well, no. Oh, is it because of climate change?
Climate
no,
change,
let's step ahead.
huh?
No, it's not. I don't
What's
think it's climate change. I think that's
but
just that's a nice cover story.
yeah, for
They know
what?
some shit's about to
They
go down.
know something, dude.
Well, you can
They
only
know
like wreck the
something.
world so much before you think your comeuppance is coming.
I mean, hold on, these are
They got
like
the algorithms.
they got the algorithms
They
and
got
they're
that
around
AI.
like the higher echelon of like society, like the people that control things. Like they know, and I don't know, man. I'm like,
I
man,
can't remember what I was listening to, and it was something about they said something about like Silicon Valley and like how they claim like a lot of these tech bros claim like, hey, we can get people to do stuff. Like we have so much data on people, we know what strings and buttons to push to get the proper reaction
Well, that's
and get
really.
people to do things that they might not normally do. But we have enough data where we can influence their behaviors to the point of getting them to do something we want them to do.
Like some MK Ultra type stuff, or
I
like
mean,
blackmailing.
whether it's buy shit, I mean, I think they just like have the ability. They use it for monetary gain, but like they could use it
Yeah.
for various purposes one day. You never
Yeah,
know.
and you see these trends. Like, what was the most recent one? The Stanley Cup thing. Have you been
What
hearing
was?
about that one?
Yeah. What
Oh,
Stanley?
yeah. What is? Yeah, just stick with Yetis, dude. Like, what the fuck?
It's not
Let's.
trendy though. How can I get clout off of Yetis? I can't, dude. You're not thinking.
Somebody was like, "Oh, I got a Stanley Cup." I was like, "You mean like the tool maker,
Dude,
Stanley?"
I thought the fucking hockey cup.
I thought that it's not a hockey cup.
It is the
No.
hockey. It is a hockey cup, but it's different. Like
It's Stanley, like who makes tools.
yes,
and like
What about it?
they make
they
cups.
they put out like a Yeti style cup, and apparently it's like the new hotness.
Yeah, people were fighting over it
Wow.
like old school Black Friday shit.
It's marketing, right? They
It's-
get all these influences to
Yeah,
market.
that's 100% what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, you get all these like monetary gain. Like we got data.
They got data.
You know what I mean? So let's
They know
put
what
it.
sells.
Yeah, give it to the Silicon Valley people, and we want this. They're like, all right, we'll take half the profits. We can make it
Boom.
happen.
Everybody wins,
Everybody, it's a win-win, baby.
except for the
The-
populace.
the-
Consumer, right?
the
How do we
consumer.
we need to shake hands with the Silicon Valley people, bro.
Yeah,
Move to California.
move to California, dude. Silicon Valley is not dead yet.
Mm-mm.
Do you think you will be able to bully those nerds? Or do you
No.
think they're low key like
No, dude, because they'll just send someone after you, dude.
They're manipulators, dude.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those guys at the top, they're super smart dudes, but they're also like they're there for a reason.
Yeah, they're like a lot
Yeah.
of those people at the top are like sociopaths. That's how you make it to
Yeah.
the top.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're
So
ruthless, bro.
you can't bully them. That's the
No.
thing. You can't bully them. No. Yeah.
I mean,
Like, didn't you? What was it? I think we were listening to the same thing where they were talking about Bill Gates. He used to memorize everybody's license plate.
Did he really?
Yeah, so he could like track his employees. He would memorize the license plates in the parking lots, so he knew when you were late. When he knew if you didn't show up to work.
Oh, he's crazy, crazy.
Like that's psychopath.
yeah,
that is
psychopathy.
it's so fucking unnecessary.
Yeah,
How? Why? Like that's something you don't say out loud.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's like retired. He's at this point that he could say whatever he wants. You know?
How do you guys feel about Bill Gates? I know a lot of people.
How do I feel about QAnon enemy number 2? Because he is.
No.
I mean Epstein's Island, bro. That's all I got to say. Just saying.
Epstein's Island. What is he?
Lolita
What's
Express.
he named?
They say
Yeah.
he like
Oh,
buys,
yeah.
he buys all the farmland and makes like bad food and gives out bad vaccines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I
because
mean,
of the Bill and Melinda Foundation, which they also divorced. Sad story.
Mhm.
Very sad story.
is
But
it
I
though?
mean, I don't really
But
care.
I mean, hold on, all these billionaires, dude. What's going on, man? They're making these extravagant bunkers, dude. Like this.
They know shit was. They know shit. Something's happening.
Yeah, like
Are we in
you're
World War
telling
III?
me
Need for it.
you're telling me that Jeff Bezos' yacht doesn't have torpedoes on it? Bullshit, dude. That thing could take
Oh,
down.
dude, you know what?
I don't care, dude. That thing's got some heat-seeking missiles on
Dude,
it.
I'd be
I never
really
even thought
upset
of
if I
that.
got torpedoed by Bezos' yacht. I'm not gonna
Yo.
lie. I'd be very upset.
I'm
probably-
telling you, dude.
Dude, he's probably like popping champagne, partying, and then a guy comes, whispers in his ear, "We took down that sub that was trying to get us." He'll
Yep.
be like, "Good," and it
Mhm.
goes right back to sipping. I
And then he'll
swear to
say,
God.
and then he'll be like, "Get my sub ready because I'm jumping down there and I'm gonna go check it out." And he's got like a, like a little one-man sub with claws and shit, picking up stuff. Some like Lex Luthor shit, you know.
Oh my God!
I mean, he's bald.
I mean, he's he's got the physique of Lex Luthor, so
Ugh.
Look at you, fucking Superman. All right, that's all the time we have left. Thank you so much for watching Bag Society. This is Jay
Oh my
signing
God.
off.
This is us.
And of
yeah,
course,
this is C Money.
thanks so much for watching, guys.